One of the things that I didn't do in this discussion, but I'd like kind of everyone to understand, is that there's active federal legislation on many of these areas. One thing we haven't talked about except briefly is that, for example, I'm working very hard to update the Electronic Communications Privacy Act at the federal level, which safeguards our emails and the electronic content we have online. And that's the law I referenced that hasn't been updated since 1986. Law enforcement does not need a warrant to read your email right now. They can do that oftentimes with a subpoena that a judge never sees. So there is not an Ohio bill, but there could be. You guys are but it's something like that that pushes the federal government forward. I mean, when Texas passes an email privacy bill, it happens that that there's a lot of members of the House Judiciary Committee that are from Texas. And they hear that. They understand, oh, the people in Texas care about email privacy and they want to do this. Similarly, there's a bipartisan legislation on drones that would do many of the things that the state drone legislation does. So when we have, I think it's 8 states passed drone legislation last year. Yes, 8 states. Something like that, that sends a really clear message to the federal government that we want these kind of changes. So these laws are not just protecting your rights and the rights of people in Ohio, but they're sending a broader message about our value, how we value privacy, and they create greater change across the country. So, thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to say, these are the issues of the 21st century, and they're not partisan, they're not ideological. We as an organization want to work with all of you on this. If you talk to some of the legislators and staff that we have worked with up to this point, I hope and trust that they would say we do this in an entirely nonpartisan fashion. We like to say our client is the Bill of Rights, and we don't care which political party or individual is helping us with that goal. And so we can do a whole host of things, from providing model language, from talking to legislators, to assembling coalition partners, putting on public events. We are here to help, and we very much want to do that. And I hope that we can keep this dialogue going on these particular issues.